You heard me go, whoo, because I sit here in amazement at my guest here now, joined now by 1/3 of the extremely popular radio show crew, The Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, and his wife and partner, wife of 21 years next month, right. Gia Casey, here to talk about their new book, Real Life, Real Love, Life Lessons on Joy, Pain, and the Magic that holds us together. Good to have you all in studio
here. It's wonderful to be here.
Now, 21-year anniversary coming up next month, but you all are essentially high school sweethearts, right? Known each other since school, so 27 years roughly together.
That's right. Yes.
So on this day, describe your relationship now.
Our relationship is in a place that supersedes anywhere that I ever thought that it could possibly be. We've reached new heights, and I kind of feel as though we've kind of cracked the code on our relationship, because every relationship is different. But as far as our relationship is concerned, I feel as though we've really gotten it figured out.
Now, Envy, how long did it take to crack the code?
It took a long time. It took a long time.
Yesterday.
Yeah, the day before that. It took a long time. You know, you had to, there's no instruction manual about love or meeting a girlfriend. We've been together since 16 and 15, so we grew up with each other. So we had to figure it out. We had to learn. I didn't have that conversation with my dad. You know, I'm still waiting for the birds and bees conversation. Still hasn't told me about that.
Well, you seem to have it down, because we got five, six kids.
Six kids.
Well, yeah, the birds and bees. I think you got the birds and bees down here, my man. You tell me this, because I found this, and I found this in my own life, that it's not, sometimes people say people shouldn't get married young. I think the challenge sometimes is if you don't grow in the same direction, you got a problem. How did you all manage that 15, 16, and here you are now 27 years later, manage to grow in the same direction, or did you, and then come back?
The intention was always to grow in the same direction, but unfortunately there were times where we had gotten off path, but we were deliberate always about coming back together, and that took love, patience, and forgiveness at times.
Now, how much of that love and patience was on, would you maybe admit now at this point, because sometimes we men, we're looking to be behind in our maturity, but how much of that really can you admit now, was you getting off track and not growing in the direction you even wanted to go?
Absolutely, I was off track. I mean, I'm a kid from Queens that fell into an industry where it was money, it was women, it was luxury things. I was DJ Envy outside the house, and in the house I was Gia Casey. So it was playing that line between both, and then you realize, what am I doing? Like, the most important thing is my wife and my family. And I had to get back on track and make sure everything was right.
Now, you all have been very public about this. I want to get the name of the chapter right. You call it the New Deal.
Yes.
And I want you to explain what the New Deal was in the chapter in the book.
The New Deal is actually one of my favorite parts of the book. After you go through something devastating in your relationship, you have to go through a period of relief, recovery, and reform to get it back on track. And we had to sit down and really figure that out and what it looked like. And it was instrumental. It was absolutely necessary. A lot of women and men, if they suffer through something in their relationship, they say, all right, well, I forgive you. But what does forgiveness really mean? And for a lot of people, it's, well, I stayed, therefore I forgive you. But nothing is further from the truth. You have to be intentional about how you go about reinstating the beauty that was once there between the two of you.
And you talk again, you all been very public about the infidelity that took place in your relationship. But was divorce ever on the table at that point? My bad, I'm sorry about that.
Was it on the table? Goodness gracious.
Divorce was carved into the table.
But some argue that's got to be a starting point, that we're going to be together, now let's figure out how. But you're saying it was on the table.
Yeah, it definitely was on the table. I mean, I wasn't putting it on the table, but she definitely was. And, you know, she was raised by a strong woman, and this is something that she's told me since when we first met. This was X. If this ever happens, I'm gone. And she stood by it. And thank God a couple of things in our life happened that made us, you know, I don't want to say change your mind, but helped us work it out where we can stay together.
And I know every relationship is different, but for you all and anyone out there listening, you do say that there are some things you should ask. Like, I think it's 25 questions in there to ask, but just give me a couple of what you think that every couple should ask themselves before they decide to maybe go down that path of marriage.
I'll start. The first one for myself is, what is the definition of love, right? It's so easy to say, I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you. But do we know the true definition of love? You know, do we want to hurt somebody if we really love them? Do we want to deceive them? Do we want to cheat on them? Do we still get those butterflies every time we talk about them and see them? And I didn't know the true definition of love.
And Gia, what's one question you would say people should ask?
I think that one of the most important questions that you should ask yourself before you get married is, do you have a true concept? Have you taken the time to even consider what a lifetime looks like? Furthermore, what it feels like, a lifetime. You know, so many people get worked up about the wedding, the dress, the bridal party, the bachelorette party, the spectacle of it all. But what about beyond that day?
Well, guys, congratulations on, yes, the book, but also the relationship, the marriage. And you all didn't see in the break before we came on. She was getting them right. She was making those are the little things.
He's a lens under his eye, yes.
Those are the little things. But the book is real life, real love. Just go through the bookstore and stop when you see the sexy couple on the cover. And that's them. It is available everywhere. Books are sold starting tomorrow.
Yes.
It is so good to have you all in the studio.
Thanks for having us,
Good to
man.
see you.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.